sit down. We're almost to school. It's time now for the school report. Today we welcome Paul Franzwa, the Superintendent of the Independence Public Schools. Brought to you by Poppy Bus Service. The school report starts right now.
That is right, everybody. It is time for the school report. It is Friday, and Paul Franzwa is in here. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's Friday. It's hard to be bad on a Friday, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I just wish the sun was out. I mean,
I know.
But the temp is right where it needs to be.
Yep. When I came into Whitehall this morning, it was 36 degrees this morning.
Nice. I think when I was leaving Mondovi, I thought, is my temp still acclimated to my garage here? Because it was 39, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah, that was nice.
Yep, we will take it. We got a little bit of a cool down today, but then it looks like next couple days is going to be pretty darn nice out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. It's better than the past few weeks where it's been below zero and frigid cold. Yeah.
Yep. Well, like I told you earlier, I was doing good through winter, and no winter blues, nothing. And then that cold hit. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this stuff. Time to go south or something.
Right.
So, well, looks like you guys are almost done with your second trimester already. That's the end of February.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
I know it's went by pretty fast here, and we, of course, we always say that every year, but things are moving right along. After today, 3 more weeks, and we're done with the trimester. So we'll have 1 trimester left. Winter sports will be wrapping up this month, and we'll be getting into tournament play. I think we have sectionals for wrestling in mid-February, so their state wrestling will be at the end of the month, and girls and boys state basketball early March, mid-March, and it's before you know it, there'll be baseballs and softballs and track and field and golf and all that stuff starting.
Well, let's hopefully that feels sooner than later.
Right? Yeah. No, we also had the 100th day of school last year. So I don't know if when you were in school that was a big deal. It sure wasn't when I was, but they celebrate that a lot in like the elementary school. So they'll dress up like they're 100 years old, or they'll put shirts on with 100 decorations on them and whatnot. So that's a pretty special day in an elementary classroom. So
it is, yeah.
100th day and end of trimester 2 coming up. So we're moving right along.
Yeah, you're getting through it. And you guys got a winter wellness thing coming up at Bruce Mounds. Can you tell me about that? It looks like middle school and high school trips.
Right. Yeah. So on Tuesday, our middle school, it was like just like middle of the winter, needs something to look forward to, needs something to motivate kids to stay on the right track. And so we took our middle school students to Bruce Mound on Tuesday. It was great. I didn't go, but I heard a lot of really neat stories. Kids were snowboarding, skiing, and tubing.
Cool.
So it's just a great venue for that type of stuff. I believe I was talking to a friend. He has kids in another school district, and they were going there today. So a lot of different schools use it. But for our students, many of them, it's their first experience doing something like that. So, and they came back. I had a boy that sent an email to the administration just thanking them and just about talking about how special it was for him. So that's always nice to hear, and it's just to provide those opportunities for kids, and like I said, to motivate them to keep on the right track and keep working hard, and so stuff like that. But and then our high school will do that at the end of the trimester. So on Thursday, February 26th, the high school will go. So we pushed that out a little bit further for them to right to the end of the try to keep them motivated.
Yeah, that's great. And like you said, some of these kids, maybe they've never experienced that. You never know where people come from in their home lives. So this might be the one thing that, hey, maybe they find they like skiing or they snowboarding or something, and it becomes a sport or an activity to keep them active the rest of their lives.
Right. And just to enjoy the outdoors, to get outside, get some fresh air, and do some things. So we provide some extra clothing because not everybody has snow pants and boots and gloves and hats and stuff like that. So we provide a little extra clothing so they can go there and really enjoy it. But it's a wonderful opportunity. I love the outdoors, and to provide opportunities like that is special because, like you say, maybe they'll really enjoy snowboarding and get into that. So
yeah, and it looks like your parent-teacher conferences has started February 4th, but you got another one on the 11th.
Right, yeah. So
Kids' favorite time of year.
Favorite time. Yeah. No, it's just a nice way to communicate with parents as to how things are going. And in today's world, you can do that via email or, in many other ways. But it's just, we get a nice turnout, and we're thankful for that. We also like to leave a little bit of room, because when we come in and we share what's going on, we want to leave some time to fix it.
Yeah.
So again, those, we had one last Wednesday. We'll have one this coming Wednesday. They're from 4 to 8. For our listeners out there who may be Independence parents, if you didn't go last week, there's another opportunity this coming week. So in the elementary, they're scheduled. They're usually every 15 minutes, and so it's not a ton of time. It's not a huge commitment, but we also like to coordinate it with maybe some activities, like there's CCD or confirmation, and parents are already out and about, so they can just stop in and take care of that and find out, get an update on how their child is doing. So yeah,
because for some kids, the parents are busy these days too. So it's like sometimes they might not know those things. So it's a time to sit down with the parents and say, well, here's the things we can do to help them, and here's the things you can do to help them, and get on that same page.
Right, and as a parent, I would always ask, how's it going? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Are they not distracting? Getting their work turned in, and there's other ways. Like again, you can email, and we send out progress reports. So we're just trying to improve and build upon that communication between home and school to ensure that the child is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And, speaking about school, and we talked about how the time is going. You're already starting to work with high school students for scheduling classes next year already?
Yeah. So our guidance counselor sits down with families one-on-one. So she'll meet with the 8th grade through 11th graders to build next year's high school schedule. Okay. Our middle school and elementary is pretty... that's laid out. There's not much wiggle room there. But, so for our high school students next year, they're starting to build those schedules. And they look at like a 4-year plan, so that's nice. And that's flexible. It can change as the year goes on. But, and looking at the other classes that are available in the TVC, and then later on this summer, we'll build transportation schedules for those. But, so if there's a class, if a child has an interest in something and we don't offer it, or if they can, take further classes in a neighboring district. That's the one nice thing about the TVC. So, they'll start those schedules, and again, like I said, a 4-year plan. But we try to have them solidified before they leave for summer. So.
Yeah, that's great. Just like us, we all need to kind of look ahead of the future and plan accordingly. And
what's nice with us being, a smaller school is the parents are there. The parents are there, and they can weigh in, and they can see, we do the Laude system, and so they're earning points for different things that they take, and they can see where they rank. So they can get magna cum laude, or just different things that they different levels that they earn for graduation. So it's just a nice way to keep the parents informed as to that new system. Well, it's newer. We've had it for probably 4 or 5 years, but so it's just a nice way to stay in touch with parents.
Yeah, that's great. And, you're planning for the you've already planned for the 2026 and 27 calendar year. There's a few things changing?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Right. So this past fall, our TVC superintendents met, and we had just had a discussion about applying for an early start. And so we talked about it, took it to a TVC meeting. There was momentum from the other TVC board members that were in attendance. We went back and we had to pass a resolution at our local districts. And so we all did that, and then that allowed us to apply for a waiver. So we applied to the DPI for a waiver, and we were all approved. And so then we came back and developed a schedule. So right now, most school districts start on September 1. That's the earliest they can start. So we're allowed to start a little bit earlier this year, and we're going to start on August 20th, all 4 TVC districts.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, when I went to school, or maybe when you went to school, around the mid to end of August. And the one thing that, that we talked about is a lot of kids are back in school already. They're back for volleyball practice, football practice, cross country. They're in and out of the building. And so for many of them, it can be 3-4 weeks of doing that and not having school. So, we hope that will help with our participation. We hope that will help with our culture. I personally believe that educating students in August, you're going to be more effective than in June, because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, so it's just, I think they're going to be more focused and more engaged in August than they would be in June. And it's always tough at the end of the year, especially in our high school classes, when our seniors graduate. If you're in a class and there's some seniors, they graduate and they're gone, it's tough to keep going, because you try to do like the final when they're still there, but so we got to get a little bit creative with that. So this schedule also only has 2 days of school after graduation, so it shortens that time too.
May 22nd is when you're going to end, so that gives you some time.
May 22nd. So our graduation's going to be a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So that's on Saturday. So then it's May 25th is our last student day. So we'll come back on the 24th and 25th with everybody but seniors. So seniors will be going right up until the 21st, and we'll have graduation practice that day. But we're getting honed in on the details of all those things for next year. And then another big change with that calendar is we normally would have a week off at the end of each try. So when we started on September 1, first try ended around Thanksgiving, so we'd have a week off there. And then second try would end at the end of February, beginning of March, and we'd usually have a week off there, just like this year. Next year, that won't be the case. Our tries, because we'll start earlier, our tries will end a little bit earlier. But we are still going to have the 3 days off at Thanksgiving, not the week, but 3 days, Wednesday through Friday. And then we will have a spring break. It won't be at the end of the second try, but it'll be around the Easter holiday. So just for families to plan on that. So we are planning on getting that information out. We'll be putting it on our Facebook page. We'll be putting it on our website, and just wanted to mention it here today for any listeners. So
no, it's great. It's a good thing to try, see how it works for the kids. And like you said, once August is the end of the summer, so it's like that's kind of winding down for people. But like you said, May, June, people are like, they're itching to get outside.
Right, they are. They are. So if you're looking at a schedule that builds, takes optimal instructional time into consideration, I believe that, starting a little bit earlier and ending a little bit earlier. The other thing, one last thing I wanted to add into there, like communities like Arcadia, where they have their broiler days, that happens around Memorial Day. And when you start having events like that, it really pulls kids, their focus away from school and stuff like that. So they'll end before broiler days, so that's nice. And, and then Independence Day is our big 150th year celebration. That's just a couple weeks after that. So,
Oh, great. And the Indy Invite Wrestling Tournament, what was that all about?
Well,
I got
I wanted to touch on this. There's last weekend we had the Indy Invite. This weekend there's the ice fishing contest. And the next weekend there's the sectional wrestling tournament. So 3 weekends in a row where there's just hundreds of people coming into our community. Great for local businesses. 2 of those events are at our school. We have a lot of people that go into, just like the ice fishing contest, but we have a lot of people that go into making those events successful and run smoothly. So we'll have last weekend that was the Indy Invite, and that starts, Barry, our head wrestling coach, he starts planning for that months in advance, and several teams come. Hundreds of people are there. We have people serving food and people, cleaning up and taking care of all the little details of that event. And then we'll have the sectional wrestling here next weekend. But it's just like I said, the one thing that I'm really proud of is hosting these events along with the ice fishing contest. That's the Elk Rod and Gun Club, not the school, obviously. But they just bring a lot of people to our community, and that's great for our local businesses. And just I'm proud of that, and I hope that people can come on out and take those events in. So. The sectional wrestling is a big deal, and we'll have a lot of people there. And I believe it starts at 9 o'clock, and it'll probably go on Saturday, February 14th. So if you're looking for a good date for Valentine's Day, take them to the sectional wrestling tournament. So
yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be busy, and I will hopefully see you this weekend because I'll be down there in Independence for the Elk Rod and Gun Club's fishing a contest. So that's going to be a fun time. I get to experience some of the life of Independence.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, there'll be. I think there's, and you guys are usually set up in the tent, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's a band.
Yep. There's going to be Sage is going to be playing one. What is it? They'll be playing. Oh, I got it right here. I could read it. 1 to 5 p.m. Sage will be playing. So it should be a good time.
Great local band. So but and it's sometimes I was telling my wife, I said sometimes it's really hard to have a conversation with people in the tent because you know everything's closed in. But maybe with a little better weather, they can open up some of the flaps and let some fresh air and then get some of that noise heading out. So
exactly. And we run a little short on time, but we can get into it. We got the Miracle Minute event. We better talk about this one coming up February 16th.
Yes. So that's a new thing for us and our POPS organization, and POP stands for Positive of Power Students.
Okay.
And so it's Power of Positive Students, and they are going to be hosting a Miracle Minute. And what that is there's a container that they pass around, and people can make donations. And what the money is going for, it's going for the Sunshine for Mental Wellness Foundation.
Okay.
And that was created by Nancy and Jim Guza, and their son Taylor died in the fall of 2024 by suicide. So they just want to create awareness, start conversation, and provide support for local school districts around mental health. So a wonderful event, and really proud of our POPS group for doing something like this and working with Nancy and Jim Guza to support those good efforts. Yeah,
they're taking that tragedy and turning it into something positive, which
Absolutely.
is good to see.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's on Monday, February 16th. I believe our girls play Whitehall at home, so it's always a good crowd, and hopefully we can get a nice donation to do some good work with that. So thankful for them and the organization that they've started, and I'm definitely sure it will have a positive impact on our community.
Yeah, that's such a great thing, and bring lots of cash, everybody.
There you go.
$100 bills.
There you go.
They work. So anything else you want to say quickly before we go?
I think that's it, Brian.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. We'll let you get back down the road, and we're going to get back into the music right after this.
By now you know how Reedy Concrete Construction can handle any size project, agriculture, commercial,